Women of Reddit, what do men do that they think is okay but is actually creepy? Follow you around while you're out, because they want to keep talking to you, after you've already made 2 attempts to end the conversation. A guy who Saturday next to me on a plane, and wouldn't stop talking to me even after I put on headphones, tried to walk me to my connecting flight, even after I refused to give him my phone number. He finally left when I went to the women's restroom. I had the same issue, except on a bus, and the man was in his 50s and I was a college student. He even went so far as to grab my luggage, so he had an excuse to walk me out. Despite my protests, my wife had a boss that would come up behind the ladies and start giving them shoulder massages. Not cool, dude. Edit. While this blew up, no, she didn't work for Joe Biden law. She was a resident at a hospital. The guy doing it was an attending physician. It did it to all the female residents. Not that it matters, but he was in his 50s and kind of looked like Danny DeVito's penguin. It was bad, because the power dynamic between residents and attending made it hard to say much, especially at the time. We had a teacher doing this on every student when I was in uni. Gender didn't matter, but it was so crappy cause he did a rape smile every time he massaged someone. Edit. Rape smile to me is by showing your teeth a bit too much while smiling. My workplace is mostly men. There are 3 women and approximately 25 men. I used to bring in homemade baked goods a lot. Pumpkin bread, brownies, cookies, s'mores bars, and the like. I enjoy being in the kitchen. It's a nice gesture to share. One guy started drawing me borderline inappropriate Minnie Mouse drawings. Not done well. Traced images but with small changes like her bloomers too short. Weird to explain. I'm the exact opposite of a person you'd think would like anything Disney related, let alone sexy ninny. He said he drew them to thank me for the treats. I stopped bringing in treats, which resulted in everyone else questioning why I quit baking. Very awkward all around. My old boyfriend would put me on a pedestal constantly, always telling me how perfect I was, telling me he loved me way too fast, saying I was going to get tired of him, and he's not good enough, blah blah blah. Told me all that right up until I walked in on him cheating on me. I think it's an insecurity thing. Obviously I wasn't and am not perfect, so perhaps when I inevitably let him down, or showed the tiniest flaw, he became disenchanted in what had built up in his mind so much, and then he had to cheat. Or at least that's my take on it. Flirting with me in a position where I can't leave, like an Uber or a taxi. It's terrifying. One time I had an Uber driver flirt with me the entire time I was in the car late on a Friday night after a party. I tried to stop responding, and he kept telling me how beautiful I was and how I needed a nice man, and so on. He actually ended up skipping my street, and I thought I was going to die that night. Most of the times, when women don't want to talk with you, divided by aren't interested, and you keep pushing it, we get scared that we're gonna get assaulted or killed. A real possibility at any time. I've had men who have been on FaceTime in public follow me with their phones talking to their friends about how I look and such, and it's just really uncomfortable because I didn't consent for my body to be recorded and sent to your pals when I'm just trying to get my fucking groceries. The Uber one for sure. I've had a guy literally take my school notebook out from my hands and write his number on a page. I was so scared that he knew where my house was after he dropped me off, and he Saturday outside for like 10 minutes just looking at my house, obviously not waiting for another ride. He can do that anywhere else. I had to call a friend to come over. When he left, I reported him to Uber for being inappropriate. That hassling you for a date because you don't have a BF is not okay. But you don't have a BF. The point is, dude, I'd rather be single than date you. Take the bloody hint. I've never understood this mentality. I've seen guys do this. As a guy, I can imagine trying to fight past a no. I don't care what the reason is. If I ask you out and you say any variation of no, I'm just going to call off the whole thing. But you don't have a boyfriend. And what does that have to do with you? My guy, like single girls, are just waiting for anybody to ask them out, putting their hands on your thigh or back casually while talking to you. If I'm being friendly, it's not a signal for you to touch me. Far too many coworkers, creepy uncles, and so on find this okay, especially when they act super defensive with their hands up like, okay geez. When you tell them not to, they would feel just as offended if another man did it to them. When they walk behind you, they either touch your lower back or give your shoulders a squeeze. Those things are only okay for my husband to do, no one else. It isn't cute or endearing. It's extremely uncomfortable to deal with and makes women avoid you or cringe when you're near. One of my friends told me to try this on my first date. How she reacts will clue you in on how she feels about you. I adamantly refused, and it told me I was being a pussy and beta male. And all I could say was that he was a decade older than me and times have changed. There are other ways besides invading her personal space the very moment I meet her to discover how she feels about me. Gay men who grope you and say it's okay, I'm gay, and not attracted to women at all. So step the fuck off my dress, Mary, and keep your fucking hands to yourself like a normal gay person then. Pretty sure this happened to Scarlett Johansson on the red carpet. Guy openly grabbed her boobs like it was no big deal. I know you said you're a lesbian, but I think you're cute, and wanted to know if you'll give me a chance. Admittedly, that has thankfully only happened to me online, and that is a politely worded version. But I have plenty of friends who have gotten it in real life too. A guy once tried to ask out one of my lesbian friends once by claiming that she just hasn't found the right dick yet. I stopped him and told him that it just hasn't found the right dick yet. He was not gay or amused. What I get from all of this is, actually tell someone if you're trying to pass them, but keep your bloody hands to yourself. Acknowledge their existence if caught at an intersection, but don't flirt or be rude. Talk about things of interest or importance. If she's not interested, accept it as fact and drop it. This is not to say disregard the relationship divided by friendship. Just don't pressure for more. Dick pics are rarely okay, and even when requested should be met with healthy skepticism. Do not assume physical contact within a relationship. If you're making them uncomfortable, apologize. Am I missing anything of importance? Please note, these are things I've tried to do myself, though I still struggle with self-confidence divided by esteem and always feel as though I'm being too clingy or creepy, even when I'm actively trying not to be. Talking badly about their ex and their kids. I'm a single middle-aged woman. I don't know what's going on with some men, but a lot of them regret having kids and are mad about having to give money to their ex to raise them. I'm not talking about unreasonable amount of money, but for example $100 for the kids at the beginning of a school year. And of course their ex is crazy for asking for it. She's the one who wanted kids. Some have complained about having to spend time with them. Why are they telling me this? We just met. It makes them seem so mean and cheap. If you don't want kids, get a vasectomy. When I don't want to talk, divided by go on a date, divided by accept a drink, divided by give them my number, divided by and so on. And they try to negotiate, coerce or rationalize me into saying yes if I say thanks, but I'm not interested. It does not mean that I'm playing hard to get. If a woman doesn't respond positively to flirting, back off. Playing hard to get isn't a thing outside of 1950 movies showing me porn or random photos of hot women to put me in the mood to go out with them. I guess I don't even know why men think this is a good icebreaker, but it's happened to me and to my friends on multiple occasions, so it seems to be a thing. Men, why am I supposed to be flattered that you collect porn of girls who look fakely like me, don't believe movies? A big dramatic confession of true love to a girl you've never even been on a date with isn't romantic. It's awkward at best and terrifying at worst. If you wouldn't touch your guy friend there, don't touch me there. I feel like that's a pretty easy concept. Shaking hands equals okay. Shoulder rub equals incredibly not okay. I probably could have chosen my words better here. Friends, regardless of gender, are often totally fine interacting in a variety of ways, and I'm fine with that. I think the problem occurs when someone feels like they can greet an acquaintance differently when they are a female. Men don't generally greet the male coworker that they barely know from 5 cubicles down by putting their hand on his lower back. I don't really want that either, but it happens all the time. Today I was grabbing some chicken nuggets at a Wendy's drive-thru as a once-in-a-blue-moon treat, and the cashier says, "Damn girl, you're pretty." Here I am in my business suit and blazer like, "Thanks." Then he goes, "Are you a princess or something?" I say nothing. He hands me my food. "Bye, pretty girl. Hope I see you again." I know that to the outside observer, this seems innocent, but if I'm trapped waiting in my car, I don't want to have to respond to your flirting. Don't flirt with women who are unable to leave, and it makes me very uncomfortable to be called a pretty girl and princess when I'm clearly an adult woman in formal business attire. Feels like I'm not being respected. I'm a woman, not a girl, damn it. Write your stories in the comments, subscribe and watch our others videos.